Mr. Mayor, look, you are the mayor of this wonderful city. Does it not worry you that there is one community that has to lock its children in schools for their safety?
Sadiq Khan under fire after Susan Hall's surprising revelation. You're not going to believe what Susan Hall just revealed about Sadiq Khan. For weeks, London's political atmosphere has been tense. Debates over safety, spending, and leadership have reached boiling point. But now, something unexpected has landed right at the mayor's doorstep. And this time, it's not coming from journalists or anonymous sources. It's coming directly from Susan Hall herself, Sadiq Khan's most outspoken critic, and the woman who nearly unseated him at the last election. What she said has sparked outrage, disbelief, and a massive online storm that's now forcing City Hall to respond. So, what exactly did she reveal? During a recent interview with GB News, Susan Hall dropped what she called a truth bomb about how Sadiq Khan has been handling certain London initiatives, and it's shaken up both his supporters and critics alike. Hall claimed that Khan has been talking transparency, but practicing secrecy. She pointed to what she described as behind closed doors decisions that affect London's transport system, policing priorities, and environmental funding. Now, to be absolutely clear, Hall didn't accuse Khan of anything unlawful. But her tone, her words, and the timing of her comments were enough to ignite a firestorm across the capital. She said, "Londoners deserve honesty. When you're the mayor, you don't get to pick and choose what the public knows, especially when it's their money on the line." That single sentence was replayed thousands of times across X and TikTok. And within hours, hashtag Sadiq Khan and hashtag Susan Hall were trending side by side. So why did this blow up so fast? Because Hall didn't stop there. She went further, challenging what she described as Khan's habit of PR over policy. In her words, "It's all slogans and headlines, but when you scratch beneath the surface, Londoners are paying more, waiting longer, and feeling less safe." It wasn't the first time she's taken aim at Khan's record. But this time, the tone was sharper, more direct, almost like she knew something bigger was about to come out. And right after the interview, several political commentators started digging deeper. Some backed up her claims, citing growing frustration within City Hall about image management under Khan's leadership. Others dismissed it as pure political theater ahead of next year's mayoral cycle. But the point is, Susan Hall's words hit a nerve. Even supporters of Sadiq Khan began asking questions online. One post read, "I voted for Sadiq twice, but even I want to know what's really going on behind these projects." Another added, "Susan Hall might have a point. Why is every City Hall briefing so vague lately?" It's rare to see that kind of uncertainty from Khan's own base. And that's exactly why Hall's revelation has become such a flashpoint. She's not just criticizing his policies, she's questioning his approach to leadership. Now, for context, Khan has been under mounting pressure lately. The controversy over ULEZ expansion still hasn't died down. Questions about policing accountability remain front and center after several high-profile cases. And London's cost of living crisis continues to stir frustration among residents who feel the mayor's office isn't doing enough. So, when Susan Hall dropped her remarks at that moment, it was like striking a match in a room full of gas. And what makes this even more compelling is that Khan's team was not prepared for it. According to insiders, his communications department scrambled within hours to issue clarifications. A City Hall spokesperson told reporters, "The mayor has always prioritized transparency and fairness in his administration. These claims are simply inaccurate." But by then, the headlines were already rolling. One political analyst from Sky News put it bluntly, "Susan Hall understands modern politics. You don't need leaked emails or scandal to create impact, you just need the right question at the right time." And that's exactly what she's done here. She's forced the public and the media to start questioning whether London's leadership is truly open about its decisions, or just polished for press conferences. Even Farage weighed in during his radio segment, saying, "Susan Hall's not wrong. People are tired of mayors who talk transparency while hiding the paperwork." That line added even more fuel to the fire, as Farage's massive online following began echoing the sentiment. Suddenly, this wasn't just a London political story, it became a national talking point. Meanwhile, Susan Hall hasn't backed down. When pressed later about whether she'd reveal more details or evidence to support her comments, she replied, "Watch this space." That phrase alone sent the internet spinning. Is she hinting at something more concrete? Or is this a strategic way to keep the spotlight on Khan just long enough to make him uncomfortable? Either way, it's working. Media outlets across the spectrum from GB News to BBC London have all picked up the story. And while Khan's allies have tried to shift focus back to his achievements like transport upgrades and climate initiatives, the narrative has already changed. It's no longer just about policies. It's about trust. One social media user summed it up perfectly. Whether you like Sadiq Khan or not, Susan Hall just reminded everyone that real transparency isn't about speeches, it's about answers. And that's the question Khan now faces. Will he address the allegations directly, or ride out the storm like he's done so many times before? Because if there's one thing we've learned from British politics lately, it's that silence can be just as loud as a confession. So, what happens next? If Susan Hall has more to reveal, it could force City Hall to open up internal communications or reports that were previously brushed aside. If not, this still marks a major PR blow for Khan, one that could linger long into the next election season. Either way, it's a reminder that in today's political climate, truth travels faster than press releases, and sometimes, all it takes is a single sentence to change the entire conversation. And as the dust settles, one question remains. Did Susan Hall just expose something real, or did she simply outplay the mayor at his own political game? Because one thing's for sure, London is watching. And so is the rest of Britain.